What is going on, guys? My name is KZD and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. And you might be saying, what is that glowing giant thing in front of you? It's probably a T-Rex egg. Well, given the context of most things I've done, you'd be mostly correct, but in this time you're actually wrong. But baby Yutyrannus, level 98, and we're gonna get you off of wandering. Level 98. Okay, so what are your stats? 6k health, 143% melee damage, 810 weight, 3,300 and something food. It doesn't really matter. Oxygen, no one really cares. Stamina, 420, blaze it. I'm already liking it. 10,000 torpidity, doesn't really matter. So, yeah, the ancestors are the level 28 that we tamed, like just tamed, and then, like the first one we tamed, and then we have the 216 named Fluffosaur that I forgot to put in the first episode. That was the high level tame that we got earlier, and I need to put some food in you before you freaking die. I forgot about that. So, you would think, oh, since it's not as strong as a Rex, like, numbers wise, actually, I haven't, like, looked at it, but I don't think it's as strong as a Rex. Don't quote me on that, but it might be. Dodo X says it's number 7, and I believe, like, in melee damage, but I believe a T-Rex is, like, 15? So I don't know if that's true yet, or if it's just, like, since it's in the early stages, that they don't really know yet. They're just kind of maybe assuming or going off, averages, which could totally be possible, but maybe it's just in an early development state and they're not entirely sure yet, but who really knows? But I have something that will literally make you go, why? Literally, why? So, you would think, since it's kind of like an Allosaurus and a Rex, you'd be, okay, maybe it's in between an Allosaurus and a Rex in, like, maturation time. You'd be very, 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 very wrong. Because, so, by the incubation time, you're like, okay, it's kind of in between a T-Rex and a Carno, or an Allosaur. Incubation time, 4 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds. You're like, it's not bad. That's kind of T-Rex range, right? And then here's the kicker. Baby time, 18 hours, 31 minutes, and 6 seconds. Oh, man. Boy, do I have a long road ahead of me, for Christ's sake. And it's like, what time is it here? It is 10:24 at night, so we're having an all-nighter and then some. Alright, and then a juvenile, 3 days, 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds. Adolescent, 3 days, 20 hours, 35 minutes, and 32 seconds. Oh, my. So, like, since I do YouTube for this stuff, there's a certain point where you have to go, is this really worth it? And just look back and reflect and think, is this really worth it for what I'm doing and the outcome that's going to happen? And most of the time, well, decent amount of time, the answer is no. No, it is not worth waiting 7+ days, or almost 7+ days for just a dinosaur. And I know it's a new dinosaur and it has all this cool stuff, and it does a 10% buff to attack and everything else like that. But is it really worth an hand feeding it for 18 hours, 31 minutes, and 6 seconds? And I know its inventory does slowly, excuse me, inventory slowly does get bigger, but still, is it worth 18 hours? And, like, when you look at a Giga is, like, well, wait a second, let me look it up. A Giga's incubation time is, like, off the charts. Like, Giganotosaurus, Gigantopithecus, Giganotosaurus. So, a Giganotosaurus, however, I know that's the correct pronunciation, but we're going to just call it Giganotosaurus. Total time, 6 days. A Giga has an incubation time of 1 day and 1 hour. That's equal to what a Giga's power is, like how strong it is. A Giga is a very strong dino, which makes sense for it to take that long. And I'm not entirely sure if the wiki was correct about this, but I've heard people saying it takes a very long time. I'm really hoping it doesn't take 18 hours, because I really do not feel like staying up for 18 hours until this thing becomes a freaking juvenile. But my point is, if this thing is a baby for longer than a Giganotosaurus, is it entirely worth it for the 10% buff? In my opinion, no, it is not. 18, it's longer than a Giganotosaurus by what I've known right now by 4 hours. 4 hours. And it's longer as a juvenile than 1 day. It's 1 day longer as a juvenile. And it's 1 day and some almost, yeah, it's 1 day longer as an adolescent as well. Is it really worth it at that point? If this thing is actually taking this long and all it does, I know it's a cool dino and everything, but just for like the courage and the fear, is that really worth 7 days? I really don't think it is. 7 days? I'm sure if you tamed, like if you bred a crazy awesome one, and it would be worth that, but if you're just trying to get the gene pool going like I am, 7 days? That's freaking ridiculous. I don't know. It's whatever. I'm just kind of hoping that the times that I have read are not true and are just like from what people have estimated. Even estimating is still crazy for 18 hours, or if it's just something that a number that's been thrown out there just for shock value. Not entirely sure, but you know, it's whatever. If it is, I guess I'll have to roll with it. If it's not, it's whatever. But what is that? I don't know. I just had something in my mouth. I think it was dirt. That's disgusting. Anyway, yeah. So it's Yutyrannus level 28, and then the 216 that we got up, and then it has a total level of 98. I wish it would have been a little bit higher, but it's whatever. 6,000 health, and I believe that's what the father, is the father the high level one? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, the father's a high level one. So the father had like when it tamed up, it had like 8k health. So it took most of the stuff from the father. The 143% melee damage, I think that might have been from the mother's side. So there's no mutations on either side. But I didn't want, okay. Put some food on you, and then we can go over here and look at the parents' stats. The father has been leveled up quite a bit. It leveled up, it tamed out at 201. It's like 217, I think it was, or something higher than that. 220 something. Move, thank you. There we go. So let's go look over here. We got rid of some dinos because the tribe limit now is 500 and we're at 433. We were at like 450 something, so we had to get rid of some of them. So we kind of just said, are these really worth it? So this is level 30. The female is level 30 right now. 2,000 health, 146% melee damage. So it did get the melee damage from the mother, but it got the health from the father. How much health do you have? Yeah, so we got the health. It's about a happy medium. I don't want to call it a happy medium, but it's a medium between the mother and the father. So that's that. It got stamina from the mother, obviously. Oxygen doesn't really matter. Food doesn't really matter as well. I would kind of wish it would have gotten the melee damage, but what can you do? I mean, I guess you could kill it and try again, but I'm not going to do that. Or I might actually, like, I don't know. 18 hours, it's kind of ridiculous at this point, but I guess if you had 2 high-level ones and you were smart, unlike me, and then bred them, it'd be worth the 18 hours as a baby. But, oh god, it's following me, I forgot. Why are you following me, you dingus? Come on. At least you're running into the door and not like a freaking T-Rex or something. Like an actual, like, tamed T-Rex, and this thing just got gobbled up in one bite. I'd probably actually be happy because I wouldn't have to wait that long. Okay, so let's get you on follow. And let's get it on high, highest, low, and lowest. Okay, follow me. Come on. You kind of run like a chicken. It's really funny. Come on. Get up here. Get on the platform. Thank you. And now I'm stuck inside a little thing. So you're green and brown. And it's dark out and I can't really tell what colors those are. But I believe those are the father's colors, which is totally fine. It would have been cool to get like a color mutation that's like, say it's like green or something like that, or blue or pink or something, red. Be kind of cool. But yeah, 18 hours, which is kind of, oh boy, is that ridiculous. But we got the mother's melee damage. I totally would have loved to get the father's melee damage, but for something like this, I guess you're not really entirely going for melee damage. You're kind of going just for like health so it can tank. I mean, its use isn't just to, I guess you could use it as like, to buff the dinos that are around you and then attack as well. But the way I see it is something that does something so like great as this, as giving something a 10% buff to all stats. I'm not sure if it's all stats. I'm just saying it's all stats. 10% buff to all stats. You would think that it just have to tank, that it would have no melee damage at all, but it just sit there and have a ton of health and be able to tank, because its only thing is support. It's not some like, all it does is gives you a 10% melee damage boost, or 10% boost to all stats, so you can wreck a boss, or say you're trying to kill a Giga with 12 Rexers or something. That's its only use, is just to sit there behind the frontline people and just give them the boost so they can do a ton of damage. Which it can be done, because the T-Rex that I have right here, level 324, 779.8% melee damage, without the 10% buff, does like does around 8,000 damage, which is pretty cool. But with the buff, it does around 10,000 damage, which is pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. But not really sure if that boost is worth 7 days of my life. And I know it's Arc and things take a long time, but God, 7 days? That's a little ridiculous. I'd much rather just have 2 high-level tamed ones and then not even breed them at all. Like, just have the only reason I'm doing this, well, like, actually, I'm really stupid. I just realized that. Because I could have easily, like, wondered if the buff would stack. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll breed one so I can see if it stacks. I could have just had the 2 of them and did it at the same time and saw if it stacked. Sometimes, your brain doesn't think, and mine doesn't think often. So, yeah, this is the outcome. But I guess that's what happens, and if it is this long, it's whatever, I guess. But that's all I have for this video, because I have to sit here and stare at this thing for 18 hours, and I don't feel like sitting here talking at it for another 20 minutes. But thank you guys so much for watching this. If you liked it, hug the like button, like and other, and I'll see you guys next time. You're gonna take forever, aren't you? I just